What up? I need to Dashi then. I've been watching so much of Dashi recently. What's up? It's me. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at all the main Community cast and ranking each character. I've fully finished Community. Honestly, one of the best shows I've ever watched. It's definitely in the top 3 best sitcoms I've ever seen. So much about it that I love. And even if it went down a bit downhill, you know, after season 4, I still really liked it. Still had some great moments, and I think some of the replacements were better than expected. But yeah, the main guys, all these guys that are here, are the guys I pretty much consider the main, even though Starburns isn't exactly the main character. But yeah, so he's literally the first one we're going to begin with, which is a good start. I think he's funny, but at the same time, it's just... he's nothing special, but he is still funny for the moments he has. So Starburns, I'll probably put him in C. Right, Shirley is... Yvette does such a great job as Shirley. It's a shame she wasn't there after season 6, but she was great. I'm probably going to put... Shirley is honestly like one of the funniest characters, like the way she is. So I'm going to put her in A, because she is hilarious, and she's one of the reasons why the show's very good. And her character, she's like very faithful, and the way she uses her faith to, you know, take herself upon life is quite realistic in a lot of ways. And it's quite funny how they take the piss out of it and how the other characters do. Especially because her and Annie are, you know, one's Christian, one's Jew, and it's quite interesting how they communicate with that. And just how the others sort of treat her. But they respect her views, which is funny. Troy...
Hey, Troy thinks like a girl. And how about I pound you like a boy? That didn't come out right.
I mean, I was gonna say it, but I don't want to ruin the moment. Troy is definitely, if not the best character, if he's not the best character, he's one of the best characters. He's obviously got this chemistry with Abed, which grows as season 1 and 2 starts getting into it. And I mean, I love the end credits of each episode. How it's just those two. Like, that's one thing I loved about the show, is how they actually ended the credits on a really funny note. And you sort of sit through it and actually enjoy it. Troy is easily S tier, man. I think after his season 5 departure, the show was really like dry without him. I'd still say it was good, but the replacement characters could not compensate for the loss of Troy. And Childish Gambino, well, Donald Glover, I should say, now Childish Gambino, he's been doing a lot with music, and in a way, if he didn't leave, then he wouldn't have got the success. So all around, I think it was a good move for him. So I'm happy for his character to leave the show if it's justified for a very, very big reason, which it was. So yeah, he's easy S tier. I loved him. Now this is the professor that Joel tries to get the answers from at the start. Can't remember his name, but he is very funny, obviously very British. I can understand him a lot more than the Americans sometimes, but he is very funny. Even though he's not that involved, like after the first few seasons, he's not around that much. He becomes more active during season 5, I think, or season 6. Like, he basically gets, you know, he gets in the study group, essentially, and that's just when they just start merging teachers with it, and it's no longer like a study group. It's just a bit strange now. You know what? I'll probably put him A as well, because again, he is so funny and a great character. Pierce Hawthorne. Mr. Chevy Chase says Pierce Hawthorne. I actually think he's the funniest character in Community. So outspoken. His views are just... Excuse me! I mean, for his time as well, it was all applicable and it was hilarious. So if you get offended by this guy, you've got to reconsider yourself, because the shit he comes up with just cracks me up, how offensive he is. And even at the start with Shirley, how he's like weird, it's just funny. Everything he does is comical. His character is definitely one of the best. So it's a shame he departed the series as well. Of course, they killed him off, and even the gifts he left everyone was hilarious. I loved every bit of his character, even after he was still in the story. Like, he was still funny. Troy's best pal, Abed. I think Abed is great, and I like him a lot. So I'll put him in A, but I'm not putting him in S, because I feel like after Troy left, he just wasn't himself, and I feel like he really was more likable and more himself when he was around Troy. And obviously those two are a duo, they work together. Once Troy had left the show, you felt like Abed lost himself, so he was still funny and he was still Abed, but he just wasn't on the same scale as when he was with Troy. But I loved him. I love his pop culture references. I relate to him a lot in a lot of ways. Even though I don't act like him, I love how he sees things in like TV shows and movies. Because sometimes I go about life, and because I'm really into my movies and TV shows and stuff, I just think of like a character and I think of a scenario. And sometimes in life I get these scenarios and I'm like, damn, this feels like a movie. And like that inner pop culture geeky side comes out to me, and I love it. And Abed is really cool for it. And they think a lot of the time on the show they call him weird and he needs to get out of his like world and stuff, but that is very realistic as well, because a lot of people think you're just a loony or you're weird if you think like that. His level of imagination is insane, and you can still be more normal than the people that are calling you weird. And I just think he's a great character all around after that. He started off very awkward, but that's who he is, and he's just an interesting character when they get deep into it. Annie. So driven, there's a lot of purpose. I love her character. And Alison Brie, hit me up anytime. Alison Brie is very good looking, but she's also very talented. Is the way that she plays Annie. I think at the start of season 1, she's supposed to be like an 18 or 19-year-old. So she plays a much younger version of someone who she isn't. And it's pretty interesting how she becomes more driven as the show goes on, because I feel like she becomes and stands for more things she believes in, but she's not cringy at all. She's not over the top like Britta, who we will get to in a bit. She's just so smooth and with it, and I just love her character for that reason. There's not really anything I dislike about her. Like, every character has got their strengths and weaknesses, but she's not very... she puts herself down a bit too much, and the character's like, why are you doing that? You're great, you know? So I'm actually going to put her in A as well. I mean, she's great. Okay, Britta. Britta is definitely the most annoying character, who contradicts herself a lot. This is obviously a popular opinion because she's very disliked. Very annoying. Like, she can be funny and have her moments, but I do think most of the time she's the most annoying character. Like, she's always moaning or whinging about something, and there's times that she's saying about how men screw her over, but then she's like trying to get it on with everyone. Like, I didn't get the relationship with her and Troy. I didn't think that was necessary. Like, I just think they did that to give her character a bit more purpose. And I actually wanted to see Troy and Annie together because they used to hate each other, and it would also seem weird for them to get together, but it sort of works and it seems more natural. But Britta and Troy just never seemed to... You never thought that would happen in a logical sense. Like, why? I mean, you're thinking, why does it happen? I didn't really like Britta as much as I thought she was... I didn't like Britta as much as seasons went on. I think at the start she was sort of funny. I liked how more chilled out she was. And obviously the thing between her and Joe at the start was quite funny. She was cool at the start, but she really drifted off, and I didn't really like her character as much. So I will probably put her in C as well, because I was just a bit like, yeah, like I said, started off well, but then sort of went down. This man, Ken Jeong, who plays Chang, does such a great job. Ben Chang is definitely one of the best characters. He is not the same every season. He changes every season. So his evolution is quite interesting. And a lot of people don't like how he suddenly became weak and frail and joined the group. I think that makes sense though, because the amount of shit he's gone through without being around the group. Finally, he's in the group. It's that they've accepted him. Like, it makes sense. Not to not have him around the study group, despite all the antics going on. I feel like it wouldn't have made sense not to have him in, so I'm glad they put him in there. And he's just he's hilarious. I mean, look at all the iconic scenes he has.
Gay!
I mean, that's a classic. And a lot of people think that he could have got more important role in season 6, and I think he sort of was becoming Ben Chang again. But yeah, his evolution is strange, but I liked it. He was a very good character. Definitely one of my favorites. It's hard to see where I put him in S as well, because he was really funny. The Dean's an interesting character. He's just very spontaneous, very random, comes out of nowhere. He is funny because he comes in, and every time he's sort of the character that brings the narrative to life, if that makes sense. So like, they could be the study group that's doing their thing, and the Dean will sort of be that authoritative figure who comes in, announces something, and then the group starts going, right, we need to do this. You know, he sort of gets the story going, and I like a lot about his character because he does it with such, it's, you know, very effortless, and he just comes in, goes out, because obviously he's the Dean, that's what he does. And he's sort of like the mother of the group, sort of checks in on them every so often. He's actually quite funny as well, and they give him more importance in season 5 and 6, of course, because a lot of the characters that had gone. Which is cool, but I feel like, shouldn't he have more responsibility if he's the Dean? Like, he's quite around the group now, but it doesn't make sense, because even if characters left and they had replacements, why would he get more involved in the group? Like, that just didn't make sense to me, but I guess it might be because he was a favorite. I'll put him in B, because he's not bad and he's not the greatest, but he's a good character overall. And last but not least, McHale as Jeff Winger. Now, the lawyer, the ex-lawyer turned into a student, then a teacher, has gone through quite a lot of Greendale. It's interesting how he gets frightened of the fact he won't leave Greendale. His evolution from being just a half-assed ex-lawyer who just wanted to come in, get his degree done, and being like the daddy, or as you call it, like the leader of the group, is pretty much the one figure who will always find the most logical way to deal with things. He gets a bit whipped at times. I mean, he was really simping at the start with Britta and stuff. He really tries to get it on with him and, well, I should say, he really tries to get it on with Britta and Annie and some characters in the series. But some of it makes sense. And I think most of the time he's really about the group, even though he didn't think about the group to begin with. And he just accepts the fact that he's sort of the person that everyone respects enough for him to sort of be that leader of the group. And he doesn't decide for the group, but he is the person to instigate and create new things within the group. And I think there's no other person that can lead the group unlike him. And his character in general is very interesting, and I think he becomes more and more chill as seasons go, and to see him become a teacher was quite interesting. I really liked his character as well. I'll put him in A. But yeah, that's the list. I think that's a fair list for all the main sort of characters. But yeah, I mean, these guys are all cool their own way, but you know, the S and A tier specifically are the characters who I like quite a lot. You know, you can... I'll be interested to see what you guys think of the list and who you would put over who would you change around. And this was fun to do. I really enjoyed Community. Again, if you haven't watched Community, or if you've already watched Community, I mean, I'm sure you want to rewatch it, because I'm on my rewatch now. So back on season 1, it feels so different when you rewatch it. But it's probably going to be better now because I understand more about the show. But yeah, that will be it for the video, guys. I appreciate you watching as usual. This is another tier list that I've been waiting for a while, so I'm very glad I got around to this. And remember to smash that like button if you enjoyed this tier list. I want to see more TV show tier lists as well as other tier lists. And subscribe for more. I'll be doing a lot more in the coming weeks. Make sure you stay up with the channel and everything that's going on. And also make sure to follow me on Instagram, so you can also check out some exclusives that I post specifically on Instagram. If you love your Marvel content, you'll definitely like my Instagram. But as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca? Me llamo T-Bone, la araña discoteca.
Discoteca, muñeca, la biblioteca. Es un bigote grande, pero manteca.
Manteca, bigote, gigante, pequeño. pequeño. Cabeza is nieve, cerveza is bueno.
Buenos días, me gustas papas frías, bigote de la cabra, es Cameron Diaz. Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
What? It's 2009.
Word.